When it comes to weight loss, most women believe the same thing they've been told for decades. Eat less, exercise more, and the pounds will eventually disappear. But if you're watching this video right now, chances are you've already tried that approach, and you're frustrated because the results are not what you expected. Maybe you've counted calories, tracked every bite of food, done endless cardio, and even tried restrictive diets that left you hungry and drained. Yet, despite all of your efforts, the scale won't budge, or worse, it creeps back up the moment you stop. This is one of the biggest reasons why so many women feel stuck, discouraged, and confused. The truth is, the mainstream advice doesn't address one of the most powerful forces inside the female body: hormones. And once you understand how your hormones work and how they affect fat loss, you'll finally discover why your previous attempts failed and how to actually make lasting progress. Let's start with something you've probably noticed in your own life, or maybe even in the lives of women around you. Two people can follow the exact same diet and exercise plan, but one loses weight quickly, while the other barely sees any change. Why does this happen? The reason often comes down to hormonal differences. Your body is not just a machine that burns calories mechanically. It's a complex system influenced by chemical messengers that regulate hunger, metabolism, fat storage, energy, and even your mood. And here's the secret most one-size-fits-all diet plans ignore. Women's hormones fluctuate dramatically over time, not just month to month, but also across different life stages. This is why women often experience plateaus, sudden weight gain, or struggles with energy even when they're doing everything right. One of the first hormones we need to talk about is insulin. Insulin is often labeled as the fat storage hormone. When you eat foods high in sugar or refined carbs, think pastries, sodas, white bread, or even those so-called low-fat snack foods, your blood sugar spikes. In response, your body releases insulin to bring that sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells. The problem is that when insulin levels are constantly high, your body gets stuck in fat storage mode and has trouble burning fat efficiently. For women, this becomes an even bigger issue because insulin interacts with other hormones, like estrogen, making fat loss more challenging. Have you ever noticed that during certain phases of your menstrual cycle, you crave sweets more intensely? That's not just in your head, it's a hormonal shift that makes your body more sensitive to changes in blood sugar. Now let's talk about estrogen. Estrogen is often thought of only as the female reproductive hormone, but its role goes far beyond that. It directly influences where your body stores fat. Women with balanced estrogen levels tend to have a more even distribution of body fat. But when estrogen is too high or too low, it can cause stubborn fat to accumulate in specific areas, like the hips, thighs, or belly. For example, during perimenopause and menopause, estrogen levels start to drop, and many women notice that fat begins to shift from the hips and thighs to the midsection. This isn't just a cosmetic issue. Abdominal fat is strongly linked to higher risks of heart disease and diabetes. Understanding this hormonal shift is crucial because it explains why weight loss strategies that worked in your 20s may not work the same way in your 40s or 50s. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is another major player. Imagine your body like a finely tuned orchestra. If one instrument is out of tune, the whole performance suffers. Cortisol is supposed to help you handle short bursts of stress, but in today's world, stress is constant. Whether it's work pressure, lack of sleep, or juggling family responsibilities, your cortisol levels may be chronically elevated. And here's the kicker: high cortisol not only increases cravings for comfort foods like chips and chocolate, but it also signals your body to store fat, particularly around the belly. This is why so many women who feel wired but tired also struggle with stubborn belly fat that refuses to go away no matter how much they diet. Then we have leptin, often called the satiety hormone. Leptin tells your brain when you've had enough to eat. In a perfect world, leptin levels would rise after a meal, signaling your body to stop eating. But in reality, many women experience leptin resistance, especially if they've been dieting for years. When leptin resistance occurs, your brain doesn't get the message that you're full, leading to overeating without even realizing it. This is one of the reasons why crash diets backfire. They disrupt leptin levels, causing uncontrollable hunger and making it almost impossible to stick to the plan long term. And let's not forget thyroid hormones. Your thyroid acts as the body's thermostat, controlling how quickly you burn calories. When thyroid function slows down even slightly, it can lead to weight gain, fatigue, and mood changes. Women are far more likely than men to experience thyroid issues, especially after pregnancy or during midlife transitions. The scary part is that many women don't even know their thyroid is underperforming, because standard medical tests often miss the subtle imbalances. This is why you might feel like you're reworking twice as hard as everyone else, but only getting half the results. At this point, you might be wondering, okay, so if hormones are so important, what can I actually do about it? The good news is that you don't need expensive medications or extreme diets to start balancing your hormones. Simple, science-backed lifestyle changes can make a massive difference. For instance, focusing on whole, unprocessed foods like vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbs helps keep insulin stable. Prioritizing sleep not only lowers cortisol but also improves leptin sensitivity, and incorporating stress management practices like meditation, walking in nature, or even journaling can prevent cortisol from sabotaging your progress. These small shifts, when practiced consistently, begin to align your hormones with your fat loss goals rather than against them. One strategy that has gained popularity, and with good reason, is cycling your nutrition and workouts based on your menstrual cycle. This approach recognizes that your body's hormonal needs change throughout the month. For example, during the follicular phase, the first half of your cycle, energy levels are generally higher, and your body tolerates more intense workouts and slightly higher carbs. During the luteal phase, the second half of your cycle, cravings may increase, and your body may prefer gentler forms of exercise like yoga or walking. Paired with nutrient-dense, protein-rich meals to stabilize mood and blood sugar. By syncing your habits with your natural hormonal rhythm, you stop fighting your body and instead work with it, leading to better results with less frustration. It's also essential to talk about the role of gut health. More and more research shows that the gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your digestive system, directly impacts hormone balance. A healthy gut can improve insulin sensitivity, regulate estrogen metabolism, and even reduce inflammation, which ties back to cortisol levels. This means that including probiotic-rich foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, or supplements can indirectly support your hormones and your fat loss journey. To sum up this first part, the secret to female fat loss is not just about calories or willpower. It's about hormones, insulin, estrogen, cortisol, leptin, thyroid hormones, and even gut health all play interconnected roles. When they're in balance, your body becomes a fat-burning machine. When they're out of balance, even the perfect diet won't work. Understanding this truth is the first step toward finally breaking free from the cycle of frustration and failure. Now that you understand the fundamental role hormones play in female fat loss, let's dive deeper into what you can actually do to reset and balance those hormones so that your body can finally release stubborn fat. Think of this as the practical roadmap, the how-to that turns the science into real results. And here's the best part. You don't need to do everything at once. Even small, consistent steps can create a domino effect that transforms your energy, mood, and waistline. Let's begin with nutrition, because what you put on your plate is the most powerful tool you have to influence your hormones. A good rule of thumb is to build each meal around 3 elements: protein, healthy fat, and fiber. Protein is crucial for stabilizing blood sugar and preserving lean muscle, which keeps your metabolism active. Healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish not only support hormone production, but also keep you feeling satisfied for longer. And fiber, found in vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, slows digestion and helps prevent those dreaded insulin spikes. Imagine a breakfast of scrambled eggs cooked in olive oil, with spinach and a slice of whole grain toast topped with avocado. Compare that to a sugary cereal or a bagel with cream cheese, and you can see which option sets you up for balanced energy rather than a mid-morning crash. But beyond what you eat, when you eat also matters. Intermittent fasting has become a buzzword, but here's the truth. Not all fasting protocols are ideal for women. Extended fasts can sometimes backfire by raising cortisol and disrupting reproductive hormones. A gentler version, often called time-restricted eating, tends to work better. For example, having your meals within a 10 to 12-hour window, say, breakfast at 8 a.m. and dinner by 6 or 7 p.m., gives your body a break from constant digestion without triggering unnecessary stress. Many women find that this simple adjustment helps control cravings and supports fat loss without feeling deprived. Now let's turn to movement. Exercise is often promoted as the main driver of fat loss, but in reality, it's more of a supporting player. The real magic of exercise lies in how it communicates with your hormones. High-intensity interval training, HIIT, for instance, is incredibly effective at boosting insulin sensitivity and encouraging fat burning. Short bursts of intense effort followed by recovery, like 20 seconds of sprinting with 40 seconds of rest, repeated for 10 to 15 minutes, create powerful hormonal shifts in a short time. But here's the caution. Too much HIIT, especially if you're already stressed or sleep deprived, can backfire by raising cortisol. That's why it's important to balance HIIT with strength training and restorative exercise. Strength training deserves special attention. Lifting weights isn't just about toning muscles, it directly supports your hormonal health. Building muscle increases your resting metabolic rate, meaning you burn more calories even at rest. Muscle tissue also improves your sensitivity to insulin, reducing the risk of fat storage. And contrary to common fears, women don't bulk up easily because they don't have the same levels of testosterone as men. Instead, strength training helps create a lean, sculpted look while sending powerful hormonal signals that support fat loss. Equally important are restorative practices like yoga, Pilates, or even walking. These forms of exercise may not burn as many calories on the spot, but they lower cortisol, improve mood, and support recovery. Remember, the goal isn't just to burn calories, it's to create a hormonal environment that makes fat loss sustainable. A woman who balances strength training, occasional HIIT, and restorative movement will see far greater results than one who simply grinds out endless hours of cardio. Next, let's talk about sleep. If you've ever had a sleepless night, you know how much it affects your cravings, mood, and energy the next day. That's not just coincidence. It's hormones at work. Sleep deprivation raises cortisol, decreases leptin, your satiety hormone, and increases ghrelin, your hunger hormone. This deadly trio sets you up for overeating and fat storage. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep is non-negotiable if you want to lose weight. Creating a consistent bedtime routine, like dimming lights, avoiding screens an hour before bed, and maybe drinking calming herbal tea, can dramatically improve your sleep quality. And better sleep equals better hormonal balance. Stress management is another cornerstone. Modern life is full of stressors, and while we can't eliminate all of them, we can change how our body responds. Simple practices like deep breathing exercises, mindfulness, meditation, or even spending time in nature activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counteracts cortisol. Think of it like pressing a reset button for your hormones. Even 5 minutes of intentional relaxation can shift your body out of fat-storing mode and into fat-burning mode. Another often overlooked factor in female fat loss is environmental toxins. Many everyday products like plastics, cosmetics, and household cleaners contain chemicals known as endocrine disruptors. These substances mimic or interfere with your natural hormones, particularly estrogen. Over time, exposure can contribute to estrogen dominance, making fat loss even more difficult. The good news is you don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Simple swaps, like using glass containers instead of plastic, choosing natural cleaning products, or checking labels on personal care items, can reduce your exposure and give your hormones a break. Now, let's bring this information to life with a story. Sarah, a 42-year-old mother of two, came to me frustrated after years of dieting. She had tried everything: low carb, low fat, intermittent fasting, hours on the treadmill, you name it. Nothing seemed to stick. After reviewing her lifestyle, we discovered she was severely sleep deprived, doing 6 HIIT workouts per week, and living on coffee and processed diet snacks. Her cortisol was through the roof, her insulin sensitivity was poor, and she was caught in a vicious cycle. Instead of prescribing another strict diet, we focused on hormone balance. We cut her HIIT sessions to 2 per week, added strength training, prioritized sleep, and swapped her diet sodas for water infused with lemon and berries. Within 3 months, Sarah lost 15 pounds not because she worked harder, but because she worked smarter with her hormones. Even more importantly, she felt calmer, happier, and more in control. Stories like Sarah's are not rare. Once women understand the hormonal piece of the puzzle, everything begins to click. And that's why this message is so powerful, because it offers hope where many have felt hopeless. You don't have to resign yourself to weight gain, fatigue, or frustration just because you're getting older or because past diets didn't work. You have the ability to transform your body by aligning your lifestyle with your biology. Before we wrap up, let's highlight a few quick, actionable steps you can start today. 1. Balance your meals with protein, healthy fats, and fiber at every sitting. 2. Adopt time-restricted eating with a 10 to 12-hour eating window. 3. Incorporate strength training 2 to 3 times per week, with occasional HIIT. 4. Prioritize restorative activities like yoga, walking, or stretching. 5. Get 7 to 9 hours of sleep consistently. 6. Practice stress reduction daily, even if only for 5 minutes. 7. Reduce toxin exposure by swapping out plastics and processed products. Do these consistently, and you'll begin to feel the difference not just in your waistline, but in your energy, mood, and overall sense of well-being. And now comes the most important part of this video: taking action and staying connected. If this information resonated with you, don't just leave it as knowledge, apply it. And while you're here, I want to ask you for a small favor that makes a huge difference for our community. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button. It lets YouTube know this message matters. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss future videos that could change your health and life. Turn on the notification bell so you're always the first to know when new content is uploaded. Leave me a comment below, sharing your biggest takeaway or a question you'd like answered. I read every single one. And most importantly, if you're ready to take the next step and put these strategies into practice with a structured plan, check out the link in the description. It will guide you to a proven system designed specifically for women who want to reset their hormones and finally achieve lasting fat loss. Remember, your body isn't broken. You just need the right tools to unlock its potential. And now, you have the knowledge to start. The next move is yours.